Welcome to Bogota. This is the international airport. It's approximately a 3.5 hour flight from Miami. So we decided we would rent a car. Patrick loves tiny cars, so we could drive around and kind of make our own schedule. We stayed at the Radisson in a district of Bogota called Chapinero, which is pretty safe and has a lot of tourist vibes. And look at this view of the mountains. They actually had really nice room service, pretty quick. Within about 30 minutes, they would bring us up beer, dinner, sandwiches, water. And this is going for a local walk around the district. There's a lot of colleges in the area, so lots of students were walking around, which made us feel pretty safe. And there's also a rooftop bar on the 12th floor, and you have beautiful views of the surrounding mountains and basically the whole city. In the morning, first thing was breakfast. Look at this beautiful spread, all kinds of meats, cheeses, hot food, fruits we've never even seen before. And then we took an Uber to go downtown. This is the Catedral Primada de las Americas. It's built in the 1500s by the Spanish, of course. There was a farmer's market going on in the area, so we didn't get any great pictures. And we did some walking around to the old town. It's called La Candelaria. And these beautiful colorful houses leading up to the mountain. A lot of these are businesses now. I don't think a whole lot of them are homes, but they're just stunning. Bogota is at 8,600 feet altitude, so when you get there, you're pretty much short of breath right away. So any walking that we do was hard. And we found an Irish pub started by Irish people about 20 years ago. And we went on this amazing bike tour called Bogota Bike Tours, in English, of course. There were folks from Germany, Switzerland, Sweden, the UK, Canada. This is the bullfighting ring, and there's a lot of red brick use around Bogota. The bicycle tour was not actually as challenging as I thought it would be. It lasted about 3.5 hours. There was a whole section on street art and the meaning of street art to the people of Bogota. We went to the national park where lots of kids learned to ride bikes and cycle for the first time and tasted some juice. Our tour guide also made mention of lots of different museums that the people of Bogota have been struggling to come back from the violence that tore their nation apart in the 90s. Of course, the coffee is amazing, and we get to see this coffee actually being roasted and purchase some. This is a fruit tasting in one of the local markets where our guide cut everything up for us. And by the way, it rains every single day in Bogota. We were not prepared for this, but they had ponchos. And this game is called Tejo. There's little explosives in the middle, and you have to throw these sort of clay rocks and not hit the explosives. We had some drinks at the Irish bar. The next day, we decided we would leave town and go northeast to a little town called Zipaquira.
Oh, I didn't mean the light to go on. Sorry.
This is my fancy birthday dinner in a place called El Chato. 11 courses. We get to see the chefs working. Lots of leafy suburbs around Bogota that we really enjoyed, just kind of checking out and seeing how people live. This is on the way out of town, on the way up to the cathedral, so about an hour and 15-minute drive. Traffic was kind of difficult, but the roads are well maintained. We're very organized. We really didn't have any problems. We ended up going on a holiday weekend, so everything in Colombia was super busy. And interestingly, they charge more for foreigners to get into this attraction, which I think is fine, so they can pay less. We earn more than they do. So the salt mine was built in 1992, the cathedral part of it. This is the cathedral part where they actually held mass every Sunday, so we got to see the mass being done. And there was thousands of people down there. Like, we had no idea how many people would actually be there. And I didn't take pictures of all of the shopping and commerce and eating. We were like 600 feet underground at this point. And everything is intricate and really interesting. This is all salt on the walls here. And this is the town of Zipaquira. Again, you can see the old colonial church there. Then we went to a restaurant called Andres Carne de Res, which if you ever go to Colombia, you should completely check it out. It was just so many tchotchkes and strange things hanging from the ceiling, but the food was absolutely incredible. These people are dressed as pirates and they're just going around singing and dancing, and guy dressed up like a lion, just there for the show, there for the amusement. These are plátanos with guava and arepas with all kinds of different toppings to put on there. Couldn't even find our way out when we wanted to leave. It was really entertaining, and there is one in Bogota as well. The architecture in Bogota is really interesting and different. There's so many different styles. I really enjoyed just walking around and seeing what was there. It's always around the same temperature in Bogota. It gets to about 49 degrees at nighttime and about 67 or 70 during the daytime, so it's never too hot.
In 900 feet,
it's basically
turn
always
left on
springtime.
68.
And the sun rises at 6 a.m. every day and sets at 6 p.m. every day. It never changes. The third day there, we decided to go up into the mountains. We could do a nice hike. And you can see here that there are mountain bikers everywhere. They actually have preference on the road, and there are even National Guard teams set up to guide the cyclists. And for that reason, Colombia has some of the best cyclists in the world because of these hills. This is on a bank holiday Monday. And again, the roads were just packed with cyclists. So here we're getting to about 10,000 feet of elevation. And the terrain changed very quickly, kind of became like desert looking. I don't even know what these plants are. We start hitting some rock faces as we carve through the mountains to get down to where we'll be hiking. So this is called Parque Aventura La Chorrera. It is the tallest waterfall in all of Colombia. And the farmers that own this land started to sort of harness it for their own, so they can be in charge of it, not the government. And so they have a whole hike set up, and they give you a little backpack with some snacks, cows along the way. I was really hoping to see a llama, but we didn't. Lots of beautiful bromeliads. Look, there's the waterfall right there. This is a really tough hike. They told us it would take an hour and a half each way. We did it in a little under an hour, but I was short of breath a lot.
What's the word I'm looking for? Idyllic?
As we get closer to the waterfall, it kind of got more humid, a little warmer, and there was lots of people out doing this hike. This is the last 500 feet of the waterfall, and you could just feel that nice cold spray coming off. Lots of people took their dogs. It's so cold, the water. I loved it. We just love being in nature. Felt almost like Jurassic Park with all the big ferns and this little jungly bridge where you could look down and see the rushing waters underneath. Unfortunately, on the way back, there was still some more uphills. And we also saw some tours going by us in different languages, in English and Spanish and French. And you can camp here too. At the end, you get served this amazing meal that you chose in advance. We had chicken. It comes with rice and plantains, fries, and a glass of passion fruit juice. Sorry, this is sideways. And there's another smaller waterfall there where people are doing some zip lining from. We did not have the energy to do that hike. This is the little parking lot, which I thought was so picturesque. And on the drive back, we actually realized we were higher than the clouds. So this is, again, 10,000 feet of elevation. We have our tiny little Kia Picanto, which Patrick drives like a rally car down the mountains. You can see when it starts to get really hairy, there's like these signs that say geologic fault, and you can see the big cracks in the road, and nobody seems to really mind. The car rental place wanted to give us a larger car for $2 extra a day, but Patrick said nope. He likes the tiny cars because they're so easy to maneuver, and also parking spaces are tiny. in the city and you have to back in, so it completely made sense to have this little Kia Picanto, and it was really good on gas. Later on that night, we went to go check out some local bars in Zona G, which is Zona G. Sort of a nice walking touristy area with lots of different choices for bars and drinks. And the next morning it was time to go. There's our luggage being landed on the plane, and we take off over the mountains. And then quick landing back to Miami.